the decade of the 50s was incredible for Germany. Foreign investment is coming in. The government is focused on economic growth. And Germany is catching up to its richer neighbors. In that one decade, living standards for Germans doubled. It was this incredible economic era. And the Beetle was really at the center of it. I mean, sales were growing, but also as a symbol. Volkswagen was like, the national car maker. And the Beetle was like the chrome ornament on the hood of the Wirtschaftswunder. And by 1955, Volkswagen had produced 1 million Beetles. So Nordhoff is still running the company, and he wants to, keep this going. He wants to keep growing. And so he comes up with a plan that specifically has 3, let's call them prongs.
Did he call them prongs?
I have no idea.
But let me do the prongs. I'm a good pronger.
Okay. Prong number 1.
Prong number 1, domestic sales. So in Germany, remember, this was not a big driving culture before the war. So Nordhoff really has to change the idea of what it means to own a car. This is not a luxury thing. This is something that everyone needs and has to have. It's like a TV or refrigerator. If you live in the modern world, you have to have a car, which of course was Hitler's original dream. We should know here, he never made very many of those cars under Hitler, right? So the way to do that is to essentially make the car cheaper. In the 1950s, the Beetle cost what a typical worker would make in 13 months. So that's the equivalent of like a $65,000 car now. So that's pretty expensive. That's not cheap. At the end of the decade, he had gotten down the cost of the car to about 8 months' salary for a typical worker. So that's progress, right? And on top of that, something we're going to see a lot in business history, Volkswagen creates a financing arm that essentially can lend people the money to buy the car so they can get into the car for relatively cheap and pay it off over time.
And there was also this plan where several people could buy a car and share it, which I love. It feels very West European to me in a nice way.
Why don't we do that
very
again?
Un-American.
I would do that.
So all these things are happening. Beetles are like, I don't know, a third or so, 30%, 40% of the cars on the road in Germany at this point. That is prong 1, as you said. But sort of the core of Germany's economic miracle is not building stuff for Germans, but it's building stuff that people in the rest of the world are going to buy. And that is where prongs 2 and 3 come in.
Prong 2. Pitch the Beetle as a rugged car for the developing world. Very, very smart.
Yeah, and I mean, it was built as a rugged car. It was, used by the military. It was, in fact, a rugged car. It was a car that was easy to work on. There were big parts of the developing world, of course, at this point in the 1950s, where the roads were bad, where there weren't very many mechanics. And so Volkswagen actually builds a factory in Brazil that winds up cranking out cars for Latin America. And, the Beetle is fuel efficient. It is rugged. It is easy to work on. It becomes a very popular car in the developing world.
Yeah, you could open the trunk and the engine is right there. You don't have to lean over it or get under the car. You can fix everything right away, which comes in useful if you're on the Pan American Highway. Prong 3?
Prong 3.
Prong 3 was, and this is the hard one, sell the Beetle to rich countries.
And one rich country in particular.
The one that kicked your ass in World War II.
and is the biggest car country in the world, right?
We're referring, of course, to the United States of America. And this is tough, right? Because America had invented mass marketing of cars. They have, I don't know at this point, but probably at least the 3 big car manufacturers in Detroit churning out cars. They do not need another car in America.
Yeah, there was a German executive around this time who said selling Volkswagens to America would be like trying to sell American beer in Bavaria. Like, they don't want what you're selling. They don't need what you're selling. They got it already. So let's talk about the cars Americans are buying in the late 1950s.
If you were shopping for a car in the late 1950s, you wanted a car that was big, a big slab of car, boat of car, a big, heavy rectangle to impress your neighbors.
Maybe it had a lot of chrome. It probably had tail fins.
Oh, absolutely. Big hood ornament, shiny hubcaps.
And almost certainly that car was made in America. So in every way, we're talking about the opposite of the Volkswagen Beetle, which is small, round, and made in Germany.
When you put it that way, it's just funny, right? You could picture it as a quaint thing you see in the Netherlands.
Yeah, like on some little stone street or
whatever. But in
whatever.
Dallas, Texas?
on Dallas, Texas, it's going to get run over by a Chevrolet like a little bug.
And at the time, Americans were really, the way they were shopping between cars was by looking at their amenities and their upgrades, right? Oh, does it have the new air conditioning? Does it have electric reclining seats? I mean, this is the height of luxury. And Jacob, you've put a picture in here of the dashboard of a Volkswagen from around this time. What I love about it is the upgrade it has is
the Blumenwassen.
It is a ceramic vase. It looks to be bolted right next to the radio on the dashboard. And in this picture, there's 3 lovely, I don't know, Edelweiss or something in there.
Fresh flowers.
Yes.
There are fresh cut flowers in this German porcelain vase that is an optional extra, right? And it's perfect, right? Put this little car with this little vase with the little flowers next to the giant Ford or Chevy with its electric seats and air conditioning, and it just looks like a joke. And this is how American auto executives saw this car, as a joke that they didn't care about because it's ridiculous. And this, again, as with the poorly functioning factory in the mid-40s, this, again, is a weird kind of lucky break for Volkswagen because since the executives don't take the car seriously, they're not worried about it as a threat. They're not demanding tariff protection against it. They're like, sure, you want to sell your cute little car to 12 people in America? Go ahead. And that is, in fact, what happens. But initially, it is a truly tiny percentage, as in less than 1%. But that tiny number of people, I guess as with, sort of classic early adopter maybe, they love their Volkswagens, right? They feel like they have discovered this special, different car.
And this came at a very particular moment in American history, which is lucky for Volkswagen, right? Americans are getting rich. It's the 1950s, right? They won the war. Things are going very well in America. So they have extra disposable income. Plus, women are starting to go in the workforce. So they are looking at having more than one car. And if you have your big boat of car parked outside of your suburban home, why not get a little tiny car to go with it? It makes total sense.
Yes. Volkswagen was the second car, and it was particularly popular among women. There's this one woman in Ohio who's quoted in that excellent Bernard Rieger book, The People's Car. She said her Volkswagen lets me be the boss when I'm behind the wheel.
It might have stayed a novelty car in America until something happened in 1959. It was a big, big deal in a small, small place.